lacrosse, and a pair of tennis teams down in Orlando.
But don't forget about Temple's fall sports that have spring seasons as well. We have the latest on the volleyball team's last tournament of the semester and the plans for an international trip.
I'm Ricky Turner, and I'm here at the TU Pavilion to break down the women's tennis season and why they have been so successful, as well as recap the AAC tournament currently going on in Florida. OwlSports Update is live, and it starts right now.
Hello and welcome into OwlSports Update for our final time on the desk together. He's AJ Patel. I'm Jesse Dimich-Leve. We have a jam-packed show with most teams entering the twilight of their seasons.
And that includes lacrosse that managed to snap a 6-game skid. With 2 games left in the season, the Owls finally managed to ink their first AAC win. A commanding victory to say the least, topping Old Dominion 19-5 on the road. Maeve Tobin, Julie Schickling, and Carissa Cross all notched hat tricks. For Old Dominion, PA native Maura Alexa also had 3 goals in this loss. This win keeps the Owls on life support for the postseason. Even if the Owls win out in their last 2 games against ECU and Vanderbilt, they aren't guaranteed a postseason chance. The Owls also need the Pirates to lose their last 2 games of the season. It's important to keep in mind ECU has only lost 1 AAC game all season. Then, and only then, will the Owls advance to the AAC Conference Tournament.
Cross country, indoor track, outdoor track, there is no off season for Laura Nicholson during the school year. Such an accomplishment takes arduous training to swiftly transition from season to season. OwlSports Update's JC Bullock has the story.
Laura Nicholson runs year-round for Temple. But each season on the calendar is different for her as she must adjust from the trails to the track. Cross country in the fall, indoor track in the winter, and outdoor track in the spring.
A lot of cross-country coaches will look at running as an all-year-round type of thing, and I think there is quite a big change.
So like in the fall, we would just do more like strength work or like longer workouts, and then in the spring we would start doing like more faster stuff.
Preseason training for cross-country begins with moderate mileage with an increase of 10% each week with the goal mileage in sight. Transitioning into the outdoor track season means workouts with more intensity and running a shorter distance and faster time through practicing tempo.
We typically we'll pace her reps and workouts at faster than race pace, so she gets comfortable with being uncomfortable, so that when she gets in her race situation, she's well prepared.
Laura spent her first 2 collegiate years benched after fracturing her right and left femur. Once she recovered, she began training slowly to build her endurance up to get herself back on the track. Nicholson set a school record for the 1500 meter at the Temple Track Invitational this month and was named AAC Women's Track Athlete of the Week as a result.
But then it's nice when you run fast, that other people can kind of celebrate with you and just being recognized in that way.
Nicholson will compete next at the Virginia Challenge this Friday in the 800 meter and 1500 meter races. Reporting from the Temple Sports Complex, I'm JC Bullock, OwlSports Update.
That's a focus on some spring sports. Now, let's turn our attention to some off-season news. We welcome in OwlSports Update's own Brielle Berry, talking men's basketball and the portal. Thanks for joining us, Brielle.
Thanks for having me.
Brielle, let's get right into it. Finally, some good news for the men's team after losing about 6 players to the portal. Italian Matteo Piccarelli coming to North Broad.
Yes, so I am very, very excited about this signing. So Matteo Piccarelli used to be at UMBC, and last season as a junior, he brings a three-point shot. He was shooting just under 40% from the three-point line, 22.5 minutes per game, and scoring 10 points per game. And just to put that into perspective, as a sophomore, he was only someone scoring about 2 points per game. So definitely saw an offensive increase with him. 4th in the conference in threes made per game for UMBC, and had a career-high 6 threes versus Morgan State last year, and also can get to the free throw line. He's an 82% free throw shooter, so I'm very excited about this signing.
Okay, great. So, Brielle, tell us a little bit onto the women's side now. Tell us a little bit about Demi Washington. I know she's a graduate guard from Vanderbilt who transferred in. She's only got 1 year of eligibility left. How do you see her making that immediate impact?
Yeah, so I definitely do see Washington making an immediate impact. While she isn't someone that's going to get you 20 points per game, she is someone that's going to get you anywhere from that 4 to 12 point range. A 72% free throw shooter, so she can also knock down some free throws, with 7 of 18 from the 3-point line, so about 39% three-point shooter. So definitely not her strongest suit, but can step outside from deep and knock down some threes if need be. 32 steals last season to go along with 20 assists, so I definitely see her making an impact.
Great. Back over to men's basketball. 2 players have already left here, going to former conference foes in Houston and Cincinnati. Which decision surprised you the most?
Yeah, so honestly, I think all of them surprised me, but the one I want to harp on the most is Caleb Battle, transferring to the University of Arkansas. And Arkansas is a great basketball program. Eric Musselman, fantastic coach, and also he's one of 3 players, Caleb Battle, from the American Athletic Conference transferring to Arkansas this offseason. They also got Trayvon Mark from Houston and Jeremiah Davenport from Cincinnati, and also Damian Dunn transferring for Houston. I think this could potentially be a great fit for him, considering Jarris Walker declared for the NBA draft, Marcus Sasser declared for the NBA draft, and also we aren't sure if Jamal Shead is going to come back. He did opt for the NBA draft, but still maintaining that college final year of college eligibility. So we'll see what happens.
Great, Brielle. It's always a hoot having you on. Coming up next, we have the latest on another team that is also out of season, yet they're still competing in exhibition matches. After the break, the women's soccer team ends its spring ball schedule against some of the familiar Philly opponents. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. The women's soccer team took on LaSalle as part of the City 6 tournament. Temple off to a hot start, tallying a save. But Rickshaw Walker, number 14 for the Explorers, handles Temple's Rasheen McGovern's physicality to put LaSalle up 1. Temple, now with the opportunity off a corner kick. Looks like it's going in, but they get denied twice, missing a game-changing opportunity. Only 1 goal scored in this defensive matchup as Temple loses 1-0.
Sticking at Penn Park with Temple taking on St. Joe's. First half now. Feed inside from Maureen Boyle, the Canadian native, giving the Hawks the early lead. Owls trying to stay aggressive, though. Great steal here, but Temple struggling to convert on any opportunities. The Hawks, though, were able to seize on the lackluster defense from the Owls, doubling their lead. The Hawks winning this one 2-0. Let's go from the fields to the tennis courts, which have been very kind to both the men's and women's tennis teams. Before we look ahead to the conference tournaments down in Orlando, the Owls were at home to close out the regular season play. One last time at the TU Pavilion, Owls up against the Georgetown Hoyas, kicking things off with the ranked doubles pairing of Leo Raquel and Thibaut Frumholz. Beautiful backhand return winner from Frumholz as the Owls claim the opening doubles point. Hussein El Tawil and Lori Garregas backing things up with a win of their own. On to singles now. Gregoire Baretti with a sweet drop shot here, but the Frenchman showcasing his power as well, crushing the forehand down the line as the Owls sweep the Hoyas 7-0.
On the women's side, Temple had a great senior send-off for Jamie Way and Ginevra Peretti, defeating Georgetown 5-2 this past Friday, meaning the Owls have notched 6 straight victories. They now switch gears to the conference championship as the team is currently down in Orlando until Saturday to find out who's best in the AAC.
This is true. The AAC is a whole different animal. To break it all down, OwlSports update, Ricky Turner is live at the TU Pavilion. Hey, Ricky.
The women's tennis team's 16 wins are the most since 2014, but it hasn't all been easy. The team has had to overcome injuries, changing home courts, and losing streaks. Due to scheduling, the team has not played any conference opponents this season, so this will be the Owls' first AAC action all season. The Temple tennis team came into this year with high expectations.
We were playing shorthanded this year. Coming off of an 11-6 season and only losing 3 graduating players, the team seemed poised to continue its success. Then the Owls were dealt an unexpected blow to their winning formula along with morale.
Our number 1 player, Vanita, had a torn ACL in the fall.
Despite the loss, the women started the season winning matches, taking 9 of their first 10. The success that the team had was thanks in large part to their chemistry, with all but one of their players being born outside the U.S.
Us combining all our cultures, backgrounds, I think that's what makes us special.
Of course, it also doesn't hurt to have the 8th-ranked doubles team in the country in Jamie Waite and Maiko Uchijima. They have a record of 28-2, and the Owls have won 16 out of 20 possible doubles points.
Michael have different tools on the court, and that's very beneficial for doubles.
The Owls ended their regular season on a hot streak last Friday by winning their 6th straight match against Georgetown, so there has been a lot to cheer about.
We cheer each other. I think that made our team better.
With the regular season over, the Owls are now one of 11 teams in the AAC tournament, and they're looking to sweep the competition.
I haven't been able to win a championship since my freshman year, and this year, I hope this year is the year.
The Owls championship aspirations came to an unfortunate end this morning after a 4-0 defeat to SMU, but the team did pick up its first conference tournament victory since 2015 after a 4-2 victory against Tulane. Despite this, the team is still searching for its first ever AAC championship. Reporting from the TU Pavilion, I'm Ricky Turner. Guys, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ricky. The team is certainly busy, but the job's not finished just yet. The Owls have the best record in the conference, but they're the 9th seed in the tourney because they haven't taken on an AAC opponent. The second deciding factor is the strength of schedule. Nonetheless, as the 9th seed, Temple already knocked off Tulane, meaning they advanced to take on SMU in the quarterfinals earlier today on the 20th. But unfortunately, they lost 4-0. Nonetheless, by Saturday the 22nd, we'll know who reigns supreme as the best team in the AAC.
On the heels of a nail-biting win against conference rival Wichita State on Tuesday, the men are adjusting nicely to the Florida weather. However, they will have their work cut out for them as they take on the top seeds Memphis Tigers Friday at 9. The terrific graduating trio of Marin Delmas, Thibaut Fromholz, and Rui Garregas are hoping for a little bit of magic in the Sunshine State.
To stay up to date, follow along at OwlSports.com. They will have live stats available.
Don't go anywhere. On the other side, we go all the way around the world with the volleyball team. Stick around.
Welcome back. While the volleyball squad competed at home, the Owls are itching to hop on a flight overseas, but not only for the competition. OwlSports Update's Jake Gable has more on where and why the team wants to hit the road.
Division I teams are used to traveling around the country, but Temple's volleyball team is trying to travel around the world. The team is planning a 2-stop trip, first to Hawaii and then to Japan for the summer of 2024.
Gone on a couple of international trips with athletes and teams before, and they're just life-changing trips.
The stops in Hawaii and Japan are not a coincidence. Both these places have significant meanings to this team. 2 Owls, Nikki Shimao and Falanika Danielson, are both from the state of Hawaii. Shimao and Coach Hampton Keith are also part Japanese.
Always bring the aloha spirit. People are always so hyped about anything to do with sports, so I kind of would want my team to experience that.
Playing in Hawaii would allow Shimao and Danielson to play at home in front of their families. Danielson can also follow in the footsteps of her sister who played professional volleyball in Japan.
Like, Japan's culture is so unique to me. I love watching them play. It's like a different ball game.
For this trip to happen, the team's going to need some help, however. Their fundraising goal is $150,000, and the team is currently 25% of the way there.
Like, we got to be able to lock in. We got to understand what it means to lock in.
Coach Hampton Keith says her past teams who went on international trips have always had postseason success the following year. Entering the second year under Hampton Keith, the Owls look to get back in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2002. Reporting from McGonigal Hall, I'm Jake Gable, OwlSports Update.
Move to a diamond where there was a little bit of history made this past week. The team is 8-0 with some perfection sprinkled in. OwlSports Update's Patty Hecker joins us at the studio set with more. Hey, Patty.
Thanks, AJ. Junior pitcher Evan Williams pitched 9 innings of perfection on March 19th, an 11-0 win versus Georgetown for Temple's club baseball team. I caught up with Williams this week to talk about the feeling of being perfect.
You know, it was a team effort, really. There were a lot. I only struck out 5 batters in the game, so the rest of the outs were recorded by my fielders. So it was just nice to be able to trust them like I always do, and just see them make the plays in the field. You know, they definitely bailed me out of a few situations there, so I was grateful for that. You know, club baseball, nobody has to be there, so everyone's there because they just want to have fun and play baseball. So just to be able to be around the team and like be with people that genuinely just enjoy playing baseball and have fun with it is really important to me, because, you know, in high school, practice was, you know, something I had to go to and I enjoyed it, but you know, it was just another kind of thing that would stress me out. But here it's a nice break from school because I'm just, you know, around the guys, or I'm throwing a bullpen. And it's just something that I genuinely look forward to, which is kind of a good change of pace.
That pitching performance earned the Junior Chesapeake South Conference Player of the Week and Division II NCBA National Player of the Week as well. We should expect to see Williams on the mound in the team's final series of the regular season against rowing starting April 29th. Reporting from the studio set, I'm Patty Heckard. Gentlemen, back to you.
The Temple men's crew team has a nationally ranked boat. OwlSports Update's Cam Murray has the story on the success of the Varsity 8.
Temple men's crew is getting national attention, and the Owls Varsity 8 boat is one big reason. The top boat is currently ranked 16th amongst over 120 teams from coast to coast. A top 25 ranking comes with more eyes, but the Owls are not new to the national spotlight.
Temple, our little program here, our humble North Philly school, has finished 5th in the nation twice. And in 2021, we were 7th in the nation in ranking. So we can get there again.
And instead of feeling pressure, the racers embrace it.
We're never scared to race anyone. We'll go up on anyone on the water. So, you know, people are seeing us, people are seeing what we're doing.
Although there are over 120 schools in the country that offer Division I crew, Philly has 4 schools that are now ranked under the top 25. LaSalle, Drexel, UPenn, and Temple all cut into the same water each morning, giving each team an idea of what other teams can bring to the table come race time.
We're one placement behind Drexel, and then Penn is the next one up from there, so it's a really tight race between the 3 of us.
The Owls are set to face off against local rivals LaSalle and Drexel next Saturday at the Bergen Cup Championships in Philadelphia. Reporting from Boathouse Row, I'm Cam Murray, OwlSports Update.
From Boathouse Row to the courts and fields, it's time for one last Jess and Jay's top plays.
And we are in for a good one, AJ. 3 of the very best from an action-packed week. We start things off at number 3 here at the volleyball courts over at Pearson McGonigal. The Owls taking on the Haverford Fords. Patricia Jalenska with the set to Taylor Davenport with a scintillating spike. Taylor Davenport picking up right where she left off last season.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in the fall, but now it's time to move to the spring and Temple in the City 6 tournament with women's soccer. Goalie Kyla Burns with a foot race and beats LaSalle to the ball. And while it just looks like a foot race like we talked about first, all 3 cherry jerseys are flocking, meaning Justice Hollenbach has a wide open net if Kyla Burns didn't get there.
And for our final top play of the semester, we take you to the team that's been hot all season long, the men's tennis team. A little serve and volley action here from the Frenchman with a beautiful little backhand volley there, turning the TU Pavilion courts into the grass courts of Wimbledon.
That's right, and that was all pure athleticism show, Jess. But if you want to see some athletes train hard, the Powerlifting Club is the spot for you. Coming up next, I got the chance to catch a team lift. Stay with us. Welcome back. Here at Temple, sure you have your gyms at IBC or Star, but there's also a gym in the first floor of Pearson and McGonigal that hosts the Powerlifting Club. I got to talk to its e-board about the culture it is trying to create. Most athletes work out during off-season to be ready to perform in season. But for Temple's powerlifting club, lifting is the main in-season attraction. Temple's club has 31 members, and while the sport is more individualized, the organization works hard to create a team-oriented mentality. They work out evenings 3 times a week together at Pearson and McGonigal. And even if you've never stepped foot in the gym before, the club welcomes all.
It doesn't matter if you've never picked up a dumbbell. We're all very, very supportive of others.
The powerlifting club focuses on the 3 primary lifts: squat, deadlift, and bench. To get stronger in these areas, lifters have to isolate the weakest muscles in their body.
The accessory workouts, it hits the same thing. If you realize you're struggling in one spot, you work on it.
Having ambition also means you might fail sometimes, but that's when the gym rats come together.
Like, even if you fail it, they're there for you when you're down.
It's adversity like this that prepares lifters for the big stage.
I'm working on competing in nationals in Texas next year.
Ultimately, the goal is to grow the sport, even for those who want to compete but don't want that match day pressure.
We're really trying to do multiple mock meets a semester, potentially trying to get other schools involved.
A programming note as we start to wrap up with a special OwlSports Updates broadcast on Tuesday at noon on TUTV. A one-on-one in-studio interview with Temple Athletic Director Arthur Johnson. We cover a wide range of topics, new coaches, Temple's role in the AAC. He also talks about the violence around Temple's campus and the challenges it serves in recruiting athletes. Here's a peek.
It is something, it's a conversation that our coaches and staff have to have with people. It's a concern for our parents, the parents of our current student athletes. It's a concern for our student athletes. At the same time, we have some resilient people just like our student body. The Temple toughness comes into play, and I marvel that we don't really give ourselves enough credit, the number of students who live in the community, who go home safely every night, who go home safely at the end of their 4 or 5 years here.
Again, our special with Arthur Johnson, Tuesday at noon on TUTV. Finally, we want to pay tribute to our entire crew that makes the show possible.
It's all about the head coach and the quarterback. Stan Drayton and DJ Warner will both be getting ready for their second years in North Philly.
Their off time very wisely to accommodate their studies and other extracurriculars.
Overall, it was a solid day for the Owls. Temple went 3-2 wins against Penn State, Johns Hopkins, and St. John's.
Over the past few weeks, the team has been gearing up for the 2023 season.
Inspire her younger teammates to stay competitive and remain level-headed.
Test for the team happens to also be their last home game of the season, this Saturday against the Dukes of James Madison.
And that was to get on the phone and convince these top-notch recruits to come on over to North Broad.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to spotlight all the studs of our crew, but that's just a taste of what we've done this semester. OwlSports Update seriously wouldn't be as entertaining if it weren't for these reporters who craft the creative stories you see. As we wrap it up, I just want to give a quick shout out to those behind the scenes, from our producers to Jake and Sam, EP Matt Fine, and to everyone you're about to see in the credits.
For the Cherry team, one last time this semester, he's AJ Patel, I'm Jesse Mitchell. Have a wonderful weekend, enjoy the action, and #TrustTheFine.